Wake the dead, wake the dead. Yes, I just found something. I'm excited. Woohoo! Okay, I gotta show you this because all this time, and it is govinfo.gov. And I'm going to close this screen. We're going to open up this one. Yeah, under Title 15, Commerce and Trade. I was reading this down here, Chapter 9A, Weather Modification Activities or Attempts, Reporting Requirement. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So right here, look, 330 definitions. The term secretary means the Secretary of Commerce. The term person means any individual, corporation, company, association, firm, partnership, society, joint stock company, any state or local government or any agency thereof or any other organization, whether commercial or nonprofit, who is performing weather modification activities, except we're acting solely as an employee, agent, or independent contractor of the federal government. So what do you mean except? Except, what do you mean? So 3, the term weather modification, means any activity performed with the intention of producing artificial changes in the composition, behavior, or dynamics of the atmosphere. The term United States includes the several states, the District of Columbia, the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico, and any territory or insular possession of the United States. Here's a short title down here, Weather Modification Report of 1972. National Weather Modification Policy Act of 1976. That this act may be cited as the National Weather Modification Policy of 1976. Yeah, they have been doing this for a very long time. Right over here, findings of Congress. Oh, excuse me when I called my Congress person. Hello, finds and declares the following. Weather-related disasters and hazards, including drought, hurricanes, tornadoes, hail, lightning, fog, floods, and frost, result in substantial human suffering and loss of life, billions of dollars of annual economic losses to owners of crops and other property, and substantial financial losses to the United States Treasury. Weather modification technology, can you say chemtrails right here, has significant potential for preventing, diverting, moderating, or ameliorating the adverse effects of such disasters. So now they want to say that they're doing it to prevent that stuff, and hazards in enhancing crop production and the availability of water. What are they saying? Are they saying that they're doing it on purpose to help and make it better? Because come on, get real. The interstate nature of climatic and related phenomena, the severe economic hardships experienced as the result of occasional drought and other adverse meteorological conditions, and the existing role and responsibilities of the federal government with respect to disaster relief require appropriate federal action to prevent or alleviate such disasters and hazards. And 4, weather modification programs may have long-range and unexpected effects on existing climatic patterns, which are not confined by national boundaries. Purpose is therefore declared to be the purpose of Congress in this act to develop a comprehensive and coordinated national weather modification policy and a national program of weather modification research and development. Come on. to determine the means by which deliberate weather modification can be used at the present time to decrease, come on, the adverse impact of weather on agriculture, come on, economic growth, and the general public welfare, and to determine the potential for weather modification. 2, to conduct research into the scientific areas considered most likely to lead to practical techniques for drought prevention or alleviation. Come on, come on. Why don't you do that in the places like Africa where they need the water? Get real. And other forms of deliberate weather modification to develop practical methods and devices for weather modification. 4, to make weather modification research findings available to interested parties. Yeah, well, when I've been interested in the parties, excuse me, you didn't invite me. I'm just playing. I'm an interested party, and I wanted them to stop when they were doing it over here. To assess the economic, social, environmental, and legal impact of an operational weather modification program. So you're acting like they don't have that? Come on, get real. They have it right here. It says it right here. 6, to develop both national and international mechanisms designed to minimize conflicts, which may arise with respect to the peaceful uses. Oh, peaceful uses of weather modification, come on. And to integrate the results of existing experience and studies in weather modification activities into model codes and agreements for regulation of domestic and international weather modification activities. Section 3 definition. As used in this act, the term secretary means the Secretary of Commerce. Ugh, I'm going to be calling that person. The term state means any state of the United States, the District of Columbia, or any Commonwealth, territory, or possession of the United States. The term weather modification means any activity performed with the intention and expectation of producing changes in precipitation, wind. Hello, has it been windy? I think so. Fog, yeah. Lightning, and other atmospheric phenomena. Section 4, study. The secretary shall conduct a comprehensive investigation and study of the state of scientific knowledge concerning weather modification, the present state of development of weather modification technology, the problems impeding effective implementation of weather modification technology, and other related matters. Such study shall include a review and analysis of the present and past research efforts to establish practical weather modification technology, particularly as it relates to reducing loss of life, come on, and crop and property destruction. A review and analysis of research needs in weather modification to establish areas in which more research could be expected to yield the greatest return in terms of practical weather modification technology. You know, when we have that wind that's whipping the trees, oh my gosh, and then get real. Right after that, all this rain and then floods. Come on. This is being done right here. It says it right here. A review and analysis of existing studies to establish the probable economic importance to the United States in terms of agricultural production, energy, and related economic factors if the present weather modification technology were to be effectively implemented. An assessment of the legal, social, and ecological implications of expanded and effective research in operational weather modification projects. Formulation of one or more options for a model regulatory code for domestic weather modification activities, such code to be based on a review and analysis of experience and studies in this area, and to be adaptable to state and national needs. Recommendations concerning legislation desirable at all levels of government to implement a national weather modification policy and program. Come on. They've been doing this for so long. Get real. And it's right here in their own codes. Title 15 even. A review of the international importance and implications of weather modification activities by the United States. A review and analysis of present and past funding for weather modification from all sources to determine the sources of adequacy of funding in the light of the needs of the nation. This is what they're doing with your tax dollars. You know, that wind and all the rain and all that snow? Hello? What can you, what? Come on, it's right here. You're paying for it if you're giving it up. A review and analysis of the purpose, policy, methods, and funding of the federal departments and agencies involved in weather modification and in the existing interagency coordination of weather modification research efforts. A review and analysis of the necessity and feasibility of negotiating an international agreement concerning the peaceful uses of weather modification and formulation of one or more options for a model international agreement concerning the peaceful uses of weather modification and the regulation of national weather modification activities, and a review and analysis of the necessity and feasibility of negotiating such an agreement. In general, the secretary shall prepare and submit to the president and the Congress. Hello, you already knew about this when I did complain to the congressperson. Within 1 year after the date of enactment of this act, October 13, 1976, come on, a final report of the findings, conclusions, and recommendations of the study conducted pursuant to Section 4. Such report shall include a summary of the findings made with respect to each of the areas of investigation specified in Section 4. 2. Other findings which are pertinent to the determination and implementation of a national policy on weather modifications. 3. A recommended national policy on weather modification and a recommended national weather modification research and development program, which is consistent with and likely to contribute to achieving the objective of such policy. It just goes on and on and on. It's already telling you. There's tons of this weather modification stuff. Look at that. And they do records, maintenance, summary, all this stuff, reports, documents. Look at this stuff. Wow. Operation and consultation. The secretary shall solicit and consider the views of state agencies, private firms, institutions of higher learning, and other interested persons and governmental entities in the conduct of the study required by Section 4 and in the preparation of the report required by subsection A. Authorization for appropriations. There is authorized to be appropriated. You know what that means, appropriated? Taking the money, give me that money to the secretary for the purpose of carrying out the provisions of this act not to exceed $1 million. I think that says $1 million. So they're spending $1 million. What is this? Report requirement form? No person may engage or attempt to engage in any weather modification activity in the United States unless he submits to the secretary such reports with respect thereto in such form and containing such information as the secretary may by rule prescribe. The secretary may require that such reports be submitted to him before, during, and after any such activity or attempt. So look at all this. They're doing reports and documents and other information, disclosure of confidential information, prohibition and exceptions. Look at that. So other writings may require, yeah, of course. Look at that. Non-compliance application of Attorney General, jurisdiction orders, contempts in the case of contumacy by or refusal to obey a subpoena served upon any person pursuant to this section, the District Court of the United States. What is this? What is all this? About what? Any person knowing willfully violate section what? Conviction. Okay, what is all this about? Fiscal year what? What is this about? War Finance Corporation was abolished, and Secretary of the Treasury was directed to complete and wind up its affairs and dispose of its assets in accordance with March 1st, 1929. What? Departments of the Treasury? What? Government organization employees? What? What are they talking about? Speaker of the House? What are you talking about? The acting Secretary of the Treasury transmitted the final report of the affairs of the War Finance Corporation, covering the period of its existence from April 5th, 1918 through June 30th, 1939. What am I reading? What is all this War Finance Corporation stuff? Okay, hopefully that's like a whole separate section. Just saying. I might be a little excited here, but well, I'm excited that I found this because now I know. Now I can go to sleep. Okay, it's very late. But anyways, I'm kind of mad that when I had complained about all this kind of stuff to the congressperson, they're like acting like, well, we don't know what you're talking about. That's just condensation up there. Like, yeah, you're spraying all this junk. It's making the weather all crazy and wild. So I'm just saying, now I'm going to go to bed. I'm just tired now, but I'm just saying, I found it. Haha, found it.